Terry Foster has come face to face with his most uncomfortable case to date. His patient has a camping stove stuck on his penis.
Legitimately, how does that even happen? How down bad you gotta be to see a hole in a camping stove and be like, hey, yo, where there's a hole, there's a goal, brother. Like, what happened to just straight fapping? You got two hands, man. You gotta use one of them. Seriously, though, all right? We've all had some down bad moments, all right? We've all been in a place where maybe we didn't make the best decision because, you know, as guys, at least, you know, we're thinking with the brain that isn't up here. But I think this man's a whole different level of down bad. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yo, how's it going, broskies? It's your boy Lofi here. And the setup might look a little bit different. It's because Poncho kidnapped me, put me in his basement, and now I'm forced to make YouTube videos like a saw trap. You know, I gotta make at least 3 a week, or else there is a shotgun behind that wall that will automatically activate and shoot me in the head. No, but seriously, today we're gonna be looking at probably one of the craziest Gooners I've ever seen in my entire life. And your boy has seen a lot of crazy Gooner stories. Right? I've even covered a couple on this channel, but I think this one takes the cake. It's from TLC's show, Sent Me to the ER, and I'm honestly kind of curious how, anybody would choose to do anything with this man. Apparently not. From what I can see, he's too busy ignoring women and looking at his stove like it's a thick piece of steak. But either way, I figure this would be pretty funny, pretty entertaining to take a look at today. So sit back, relax, grab your lube, and let's get right into this, bros.
I went to tell the doctor what had happened, and at first he kind of was half listening, and then the more I told him, the more he realized I wasn't joking.
You know, this is why I could never be like a doctor or a nurse or anything. I have homies that are like, you know, nurses or like assistants for that type of stuff. They always tell me the craziest stuff, and I'm like, how do you not laugh? Like, if I walk into the room and somebody's got an entire can of Corona shoved up their butthole and they're just like, I don't know what happened, doc, I just slipped and fell, dude. Like, how do you just not lose your shit? Somebody walks in and is like, I accidentally chopped my finger off, I don't know what happened, doc, it somehow ended up inside of my pee hole. Like, what do you mean? And then also, like, you know, seeing people die and stuff seems kind of serious, you know. That's like not my vibe.
How did this happen?
See, what happened was, doc, all right, see, listen. It's actually, this happens probably all the time. So I'm out camping, and, you know, it's cold. And, you know, sometimes whenever it's cold, you know, it starts to shrink inside. So I'm thinking if I put the wee-wee in the stove, it'll, like, warm it up, and it'll get back to normal size. Because, you see, I took this chick out camping, and she's, you know, she's all on freak mode. And I'm like, dang, man, like, it's cold outside right now because we outdoors. Hey, give me 5 minutes. So I thought if I warmed up the wee-wee in the stove and it'd be chilling, but then it got stuck because it started, you know, getting too warm. And, you know, it happens to everybody. It happens to everybody. I'm sure it's even happened to you at least once, right? Right?
Danny and I went camping for the weekend. We were drinking, smoking some weed.
They were swimming in this lake in the nude, and they were making love.
Bro went camping with his girl and somehow still ended up with his schmeat not in the girl, but inside a stove. How does that happen? How you actively got a woman there, then somehow you end up gooning with a stove? This has got to be the biggest bag fumble ever. How do you go from actively making love to a real human woman to getting blue balls with your meat stuck on a meat cooker?
The stove had a knob missing, so Janie said, why don't you put it in there now? We get it.
Nah, you know, honestly, I don't get it. Because first of all, that's like a little compact stove, like about the size of like a keyboard, but like, you know, long. So if it has a knob missing, that means the hole is about like yay big. Bro, how small you meat to fit through a hole this big? I mean, he is Asian, so I guess that would make a lot of sense. Okay, in all seriousness though, like, I don't care how bad a girl is. If she says, hey, yo, stick your meat in that hole over there, I'm not doing it. I've seen enough of this episode right here to know, or honestly, just have enough common sense to know not to stick my schwang in random holes, dude. Like, if I'm walking about and I see a tree got a little hole in it, you know, sap dripping from it, looking all, you know, wet and juicy and breathable. You know, I don't, you know, like, go up to it and stick my meat in it. It's just like, oh, you know, like, that's like a sap hole, you know, some animals probably gonna eat that. I definitely don't need to go up to that tree and make sweet. I can't even say that seriously, dog.
And of course, the guy says, okay.
Then I couldn't get it out. I was like,
you know, seeing stuff like this really makes me realize that majority of people are just dumb. And I'm a pretty dumb guy myself, like self-admitted dumbass right here, all right? If you've seen any of my storytime videos, you know I'm not the smartest human being alive. But then I see something that I know even my dumbass wouldn't do, and it's just like, why? Like, there's gotta be some type of common sense there, but apparently common sense isn't very common, so I think we should stop calling it common sense and just call it sense. But looking back, I think you just kind of realize that as you get older, because my mom would never say, "Ain't you got no common sense, boy?" She would just say, "Ain't you got no sense, boy?" She would just say sense. Because legitimately, how do you end up in this predicament? Like, what? I stuck my peener in a small hole and now it's stuck? Oh man, who could have ever predicted this? Anybody. Literally anybody.
We tried soap. That didn't work. We tried grease from one of our pants. That didn't work. So then I smoked a joint.
Not a single good idea has come after. So I smoked a joint? As an avid weed smoker, anytime that I smoke a joint or a blunt and then me and the homie decide to do something, it's usually the stupidest thing ever and a story time video comes after it. Man said, I tried all the logical things, so then I decided, what if I got really high? And then came up with ideas. The only good thing to come out of doing drugs before trying to come up with a good idea is regular show. And like anything Seth Rogen's worked on, all right? Those are like the only two exceptions.
Sit tight. I'm trying to get this thing off here.
I guess that's good, man. That's what I was trying to do. That's how I got into this mess.
Wow, get it, guys? The joke is sex. The joke is that he was trying to bust a nut. Legitimately, though, I can't lie. I am curious on how do you get out of this? Because did you just wait for the boner to go down, or is it like swollen now? I don't see. This is why I'm not a doctor, because I could not figure this out. I also wouldn't be in this type of situation.
Call maintenance.
Maintenance? Why?
See if he's got any kind of metal cutters that can cut that thing off.
Cut what thing off?
Relax. I meant the stove.
I can't lie. They had me scared for a minute. I thought that they were going to have to cut bro's wee-wee off. Imagine you just trying to, have some weird, freaky fun with your girl, and the next thing you know, you in the emergency room, they cutting your dick off. That would just be game over at that point. At that point, it's just like, you just gotta, drink some bleach. Because honestly, I don't know what I would do if I didn't have my schmeat. I would rather be dead than not have my schmeat. But that's just me. But it's also crazy work that the doctor's like, yeah, I don't really have any medical procedure for this. We're just gonna get some like wire cutters and then cut around it. I can't imagine, the doctor don't even pull up. The maintenance guy pulls up and is like, yeah, I've seen this before. All right, let me get these pliers and just start chopping around your ding dong. Like, nah, that had me nervous. You tell me some dude who cleans out toilets for a living is supposed to be getting my dang-a-lang out of this thing. Yeah, pass me another joint, bro. I can't be sober for that.
You're gonna see a lot of swelling down there, okay? And you might even see a little bit of blood. Okay, you ready?
Bro, I was just joking earlier, but they actually got the maintenance guy for this? Nah, the doctor's not even gonna do it. I would trust the doctor with a pair of pliers other than this guy. I mean, the doctor deals with the surgical instruments all day, every day around sensitive tissue. This guy's used to, banging on a bolt that won't move. At that point, I'm going home, I'm getting my own screwdriver, and I'm cutting around the dit myself. That's just, I'll do it myself, man. Nah. Especially knowing they're gonna try and charge me like $13,000 afterward for this procedure. Hell no.
I kind of wanted to prepare the maintenance man just because, as from one guy to another, this is a personal area. This is something that really has a dramatic effect on you.
Honestly, I respect that a lot. Like, at least he's like, hey, brother, I get it. That's your manhood. All right, I got one between my legs myself. All right, so I understand how important this is. We're gonna do our best, all right? Bros before hoes, man. D before B.
I can't help you.
You don't have anything that can cut this metal?
I can't help you. I don't have anything.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. At that point, I start to crash out. The maintenance man comes through, takes a look at the D, and is just like, yeah, you're screwed, bro. Understandable crash out. If you about to lose your manhood, I feel like just a slight bit of freaking the fuck out is warranted.
And just as I turned to kind of check on him, he just fell flat on the floor, flat on his face. He just went boom.
I feel like this would be most people's reactions being in the ER, seeing situations like this. I legitimately don't understand how, like, ambulance dudes and like doctors and nurses who do like surgeries and stuff can just see all those blood and guts everywhere all the time. I mean, I play Mortal Kombat, but I feel like that's a little bit different than seeing somebody's open heart beating on a table. I feel like it's just slightly more disturbing than a fatality.
I think the sight of it all was just a little too much for him.
Why don't you call down to the firehouse 5 blocks away? They've got to have something we can use to cut the stove.
Honestly, I'm just wondering why he didn't do this in the first place. Why isn't the first thing to do is call the fire department? Don't they have like the Jaws of Life or like other similar instruments for when people are like stuck in fucked up situations? From like, car wrecks, fires, literally, it's in the name. You would think with the amount of people that do stuff like this, I mean, it's common enough that they have a whole show for it, that they would eventually have some instruments to get wee-wees out of, messed up situations.
Just real quick, look here.
No.
No what?
I don't know how this dude is staying this calm. I mean, maybe the marijuana's is still in his system. It has to be, because no normal sober person is sitting there just, yeah. If it was me, I'd be like, I get it out. But you know, that's just me. You know, I don't know. Maybe I have too much pride in my manhood to even be in this type of situation. But if I was, I would be freaking out. It would be, get your best neurosurgeon out here, use the little scalpel, the little peel apart things. I don't care if it takes 13 hours. You gonna get my dick out this goddamn stove.
Don't have anything.
You don't have anything that can cut the metal or anything?
No.
Honestly, his reaction's just like every dude's reaction. If I walk up to my homie, you know, he's like, bro, come over, I need your help. And I see that, I'm gonna have to take a seat and do one of these. Bro, you're fucked.
I'm gonna need 2 14-gauge angiocath needles.
Angiocath needles that are 14 gauges or a large bore needle, almost like the size of a nail.
Are they about to do what they think they're about to do? If what I think they're about to do is they're gonna use the needles to stick it in bro dick, to drain the blood so the boner go down, and then they can just, oh no. Oh, just imagining it, man. Oh, but a nail, you know how big a nail is? My manhood hurts just thinking about it.
I'm gonna insert the needles into the end of his penis. Then I'll be able to drain all the blood from his penis. Then I'll be able to remove the stove.
Oh, they are. They're gonna stick needles in bro dick. Is that gonna leave scars? Like, imagine you stick 2 needles in the side of your boner, so the blood drains out. Because those of you who don't know, like, the meat down there is spongy tissue. It's literally like a sponge. Like, imagine a sponge with skin around it, and the blood goes in there, so, like, you know, goes in through all the little, like, vessels and stuff. And then it, you know, like, swells up. A little science lesson. And, you know, that's how, you know, the boner work. So they gotta stick it on both sides, probably, so it drains properly. Oh, no, bro. This is about to be brutal.
Okay, it's okay. All right, take some deep breaths in and out, okay?
Finally, this dude is having some normal reactions to his situation. He's finally taking it serious. I don't think bro fully understood the situation he was in. Had it not been for, what was that, the 3rd or 4th guy they brought in to try and get his meat out of that thing, and now they're having to stick nail-sized needles in it just so he can survive with his manhood intact. He's out here like, oh, the meat. Oh, God, no. Jesus, please save me. I'll never touch the meat again. I feel for him. I don't know how I would feel if they had to literally stab my meat twice.
Doing okay?
You?
I think so. I put some bandages on that area, like a dry sterile dressing.
And yeah, that's pretty much the end of the video. Bro ends up living happily ever after, I guess, after he finally gets his meat out of the camping stove. I guess the moral of this video is do not stick your meat in things you know you can't get it out of. All right, unless you want to end up like this guy on this show. All right, unless you want your own episode of your meat sent you to the ER. Then maybe don't do this. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this video and agreed with anything I had to say, then drop a fat like on it and subscribe if you're new. I'd really appreciate that. Also, make sure to check out all the links in the description. You know, Twitch, Twitter, Discord, Instagram, blah, blah, blah. Shameless self-promotion. You guys know the drill. Anyways, I really hope you guys are all having a fantastic day. I've been Lofi. Peace out.
Internet personas we hide behind.